Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome, dear students, in our series of lecture on capsule production technologies in the pharmaceutical production technologies. We are here with our lecture on the production technologies, aspects of soft gelatin capsules, and then the quality control of capsules as a dosage form. So let's enjoy the third part of our lecture on capsule production technologies. And if you haven't gone through the other lectures, please tune in and see the lectures and go through for better understanding of all the lectures. Thank you. Let's start our lecture. After going through this lecture, you will be able to understand the soft gelatin capsules, their filling, various principles and methods of soft gelatin capsule filling, formulation principles of soft gelatin capsules, and evaluation of the raw materials and capsule dosage form, how we can ensure the process uh, providing the best possible formulation, what are the necessary criteria which must be met by the finished product before going to the consumer. So we are just going through these things. We will be covering this lecture under the heads like introduction of soft gelatin capsules, their methods of filling, advancement of filling these soft gelatin capsules, and their formulation aspects. After that, we will be covering the official acceptance criteria of capsules, evaluation of raw materials, evaluation of in-process material, and evaluation of finished product, the capsules. So let's start our discussion. Soft gelatin capsules. These are single unit solid dosage form. Single unit dosage form, solid dosage form. They consist of a liquid or semi-solid fill. In contrast to the hard gelatin capsules, the powders are there, but in case of soft gelatin capsules, liquid or semi-solid fill is there. They are enveloped by a one-piece hermetically sealed elastic outer shell. They are formed, filled and sealed in one continuous operation, preferably by the rotary dry process. So with the help of rotary dry process, we can form, fill and seal the soft gelatin capsule in one single continuous process. Why we select these soft gelatin capsules? Let's discuss this aspect. There are some strategic reasons. You might want to go for the line extension. There might be the technological issues, high content uniformity of low dose drugs you want. For the safety aspects, the reduced operator and environmental contamination with high potent or cytotoxic compounds we can have with the help of soft gelatin capsules. Consumer preference, because it is easy to swallow. What are the advantages of soft gelatin capsules? They are easy to swallow. They have got the no taste, unit dose delivery and tamper proof. They are available in the wide variety of colors, shapes and sizes. They can accommodate a wide variety of compounds filled as a semi-solid, liquid, gel or paste. They provide the immediate or the delayed drug delivery. They can be used to improve bioavailability by delivering bioavailability by delivering the drug in solution or other absorption enhancing media. What are the limitations? They require the soft gelatin capsules require special manufacturing equipment. There are stability concerns with high water soluble compounds and compounds susceptible to hydrolysis. There is a limited choice of excipient carriers compatible with the gelatin. As far as the composition is concerned, on the basis of formulation category, the shell material may be gelatin, PVA or carrageenan. Plasticizer is added as in single or in combination of plasticizers, water, preservatives, coloring agents, opacifying agents and flavoring as well as the sweetening agents may be added for the soft gelatin capsules. On the basis of solubility, what is the composition of soft gelatin capsules? Let's see. There might be the hydrophilic solvents, lipophilic solvent for the lipophilic materials, hydrophilic surfactants, lipophilic surfactant and co-solvents. So composition may be depending on the hydrophilicity or lipophilicity with respect to solvent materials and surfactants. As you can see in this picture that the soft gel capsules, the film material is there. Gelatin cell may be of gelatin plasticizer better composition is there. So solution or drug lipophilic film matrix may be there or suspension of drug lipophilic film matrix may be there. Okay. Solution or suspension of drug in lipophilic hydrophilic film matrix with gastro resistant or delayed release coat may be there with the help of film coating. Solution of drug hydrophilic film matrix and suspension of drug hydrophilic film matrix may be there in the soft gelatin capsule. What are the prerequisites? Selection of appropriate shell material, selection of appropriate fill composition and optimization of these two, okay, for physical and chemical stability. So these are the three important prerequisites for soft gelatin capsules manufacturing. In the soft gelatin capsules, the gelatin used must have the gel strength of 150 to 200 bloom. Viscosity should be at 60 degrees Celsius, 66 to 23% weight by weight in water, giving at the 2.8 to 4.5 MPa. Well controlled degree of viscosity breakdown and well-defined particle size to allow fast dissolution and deaeration of the molten mass even at high gelation concentrations are required for the gelatin used in the soft gelatin capsules. A broad molecular weight distribution, the molecular weight distribution is required to provide a fast setting and the fusion temperature being well below the melting temperature of the plasticized wet film. Okay, so gel strength, viscosity, well controlled degree of viscosity, well defined particle size and a broad molecular weight. So these are major points to be considered for selection of gelatin for the soft gelatin capsules. So friends, as we can see in this graph in which we have in y-axis foam volume and in x-axis time. In the graph 1, the graph 1 shows three curves. This graph which we are seeing here, there are three curves in red, blue and green. Red, blue and green you are seeing. In the type 1 graph with high foam function and high stability. It is having high foam function. This graph is having high foam function and high stability. While the type 2 graph, this type 2 graph is having high foam function with low stability. While the type 3 is having less foam function as well as the less stability. Okay. So every curve shows two phases. Phase 1 showing the increase in foam volume. This phase 1, this is the phase 1 as we can see. It is showing the increase in the foam volume following the injection of an inert gas, and phase 2 the value decreases after this injection. This is the phase 2. As you can see, this is the phase 2 part for all three kind of curves. The value decreases after the injection of gas. As foaming is undesirable in soft gel formulations, the Rousselot's comparative test is valuable for the selection of gelatin and operating conditions. So this is just to give you the insight about the foam volume and the stability, high foam function and the stability relation for the soft gelatin capsules. Now let's see in this graph that you can see the effect of final moisture level on soft gel. This is internal Rousselot study. It was done in September 2013. You can see the sticky, 85% is sticky, 15% is normal with the moisture greater than 11%. If the moisture is less than 11%, then it will be normal 94%, and only the sticky one you will get the capsules, the gelatin capsules, 6% of the capsules will be sticky, while 94% will be the normal. So moisture should be in less than 11% in the capsules. This was the outcome, or you can say this is the conclusion of this study. Now moving to the plasticizers, glycerol 85% and to the range of 98% weight by 98% weight by weight. Sorbitol, sorbitol solution, propylene glycol, and low molecular weight PEG, polyethylene glycol, PEG 200 may be used as plasticizer. It provides strength of the shell. The ratio by weight of dry plasticizer to dry gelatin. So strength of the shell is determined by the ratio of weight of dry plasticizer to the dry gelatin. So that's why in case of high plasticizer concentration drug is to plasticizer, the ratio is 1:0.4. For soft gelatin capsule, this high plasticizer concentration is in the range of 1:0.4. While for hard gelatin capsule, the same concentration of drug to plasticizer is 1:0.8. Okay. Now moving to the directly interacting plasticizers. There is high degree of reduction in glass transition temperature of gelatin during preparation. They maintain crystal formation within the sol gel network, and most effective and stable they are, these directly interacting plasticizers. There is slight increase in hygroscopicity in case of directly interacting plasticizers. The example is glycerol. Now moving to the indirectly interacting plasticizer. Very minute reduction in glass transition temperature of gelatin is there during preparation when we are using these indirectly interacting plasticizers. Moisturizing effect may also be there. It doesn't, however, they don't maintain crystal formation within the sol gel network like we have seen in the case of directly interacting plasticizers. They are less effective and unstable in comparison of the directly interacting plasticizers, and they are mostly used in combinations. Examples: sorbitol and sorbitan combination. Now, soft gelatin capsules, what are the factors which we must consider for fill materials? Number one, temperature within range of 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, viscosity, surface activity, particle size of the suspended drug in case of suspension, and it should have less than 200 micron particle size. Now moving to the formulation consideration, the possible interaction must be studied. The chemical reactions of fill components with the gelatin and the plasticizers must be studied. Physical interactions like migration of fill components or through the shell and vice versa. Water content of the fill should not exceed the critical value of about 5%. In continuation, other formulation considerations include, for minimizing the hydrolysis or oxidation of formulation, what we do, we use gelatin with high bloom, with low viscosity for faster drying. Single plasticizer may be replaced by blend of two or more. We can use the mixture of two or more plasticizers to minimize the diffusion of API into the shell. And coating of drug particles is done to inhibit the browning reaction. Post-treatment and coating enhances the stability of the formulation. It includes aldehyde treatment, but it's difficult because of low surface roughness it provides intrinsic insolubility of the shell component in the organic solvent may be there, which may result into the non-adherence of coating material to shell. Other formulation considerations include, with special perspective of gelatin preparation, the process of blending and heating granulated gelatin and other ingredients in warm water in a gelatin melting tank. The color may be added during the melting process or in a separate machine. Fill material preparation, if we see that preparation equipment may include may include the processing tanks, mixtures, vacuum homogenizers, sieves, and mills. For encapsulation, what we do, we convert the gel mass into a thin layer of gelatin and wrap it around the fill material to form a soft gel. Drying is done. This drying removes the excess moisture from the gelatin shell to shrink and firm up the soft gel either by the tumbling or by a combination of tumbling and tray drying. Then cleaning, inspection and sorting is done. Often prior to packaging, cleaning, inspection and sorting are required for the soft gel preparation. Now you can see the ray diagram of the soft gel capsule manufacturing. That there is a gelation tank here, then this spreader box is there, okay, or separator box is there, and then what has happened that this is the cooling drum. What is happening, that product material, that gelatin is coming from here, and product material is is kept in hopper here. Then product pumps it into this rollers. In between the dry rollers, the material is which is to be filled or encapsulated is encapsulated in between these two lines, which are being wedged. The encapsulated material is being wedged or encapsulated in between these two films. The die rollers moves in the opposite directions, okay, and then this ribbon of gelatin is coming from two sides, okay. One gelation tank is here and one gelation will be here, which has not been shown in this diagram. So the gelatin films come from these rollers in the dry roller, and the product material is just encapsulated into this, and they are sorted and taken to the conveyor belt, okay. So let's see this diagrammatic representation, you can say, with the help of animation, how this self gelatin machine is working, okay. It is basically a capless technology by in 2008. From Hopper, the material is coming. You can see here, and the fill material is coming and being encapsulated. It is being encapsulated in between the layers, the film of the gelatin film, and they are encapsulated into the form of a soft gelatin capsule, and with the help of tumble dryer they are dried, and then they are with the help of these uh, drying trays, they are taken to the to conveyor belt to the packaging and all that. Okay, so what is happening, the gelatin here, gelatin tanks are you can see in the two corners, the are there, gelatin tanks are there, and they are being, with the help of spreader box, they are spread onto this these rolls, and they, with the help of lubrication rollers, they are taken into these die rolls in the form of a film, and when these two films coming from opposite direction, they encapsulate the film material into the form of the soft gelatin capsule. So this is the pictorial depiction. So try to learn the process. Now, soft gelatin capsules, what are the equipments involved? Product pump, injection wedge, rollers. In product pump, separator, they may be separate or attached. Injection time or may be adjusted electronically or manually. Or injection wedge may be manual or pneumatic, while the rollers may be electronic, pneumatic, or pressure based. The ribbon system may be electronic or pneumatic. Oil quantity adjustment is either electronic or manual. With the collection assembly, the chute or divider speed fixed. Speed is either fixed or variable. Okay, and what we are seeing here, that as we can see that it may be unidirectional or bidirectional, conveyor belt may be unidirectional or bidirectional. Okay, what are the in process tests we perform in the soft gelatin capsules? The gel ribbon thickness we assure, we check. Soft gelatin seal thickness at the time of encapsulation. Film matrix weight and capsule shell weight is observed in process. Soft gel shell moisture level and soft gel hardness at the end of drying stage is observed in process. In the finished product test, what are the tests which we are going to perform? Capsule appearance, active ingredient assay, and related substance assay is done. Fill weight is taken, content uniformity is observed, microbiological testings are done. What are the limitations of soft gelatin capsules? Liquid that can easily migrate through the gelatin shell, such as water, more than 5% of the fill, and hygroscopic and volatile compounds. These cannot be used in the soft gelatin capsules. Aldehydes, which have the ability to harden the shell and hence affect its dissolution property, must not be used. Acidic or alkaline solutions should be avoided unless they are uh, pictures on a blackboard adjusted to become neutral. Acids and alkali can cause the hydrolysis and leakage of the gelatin shell. The water soluble solid compounds that may affect the gelatin shell, unless they are minor constituents of a formula or combined with a carrier that reduces their effect on the shell, they should be used carefully. Now we are just summarizing this section, whatever we have studied so far. The soft gelatin capsules as dosage form and their importance we have studied. The method of filling of their soft gelatin capsules we have studied. Okay, how they are being filled due to in both the ribbons of the, in between the ribbons of the soft gelatin, the product is encapsulated in the soft gelatin capsule and then dried and taken to the conveyor belt. Advancement of soft gelatin capsule filling technology was also discussed, and the formulation considerations we discussed, that what are the various formulation considerations with respect to the various components we discussed. Now, after covering the hard gelatin capsules, soft gelatin capsules. We are moving to the quality control test of capsules. The hard gelatin capsules, powder or beads as filling material is there. Equilibrium moisture content is between 13 to 16%. These are the criteria which are the accepted criteria in general acceptance criteria for the hard gelatin capsules. No plasticizer is added. While in the soft gelatin capsules, liquid or semi-solid as filling material is there. Equilibrium moisture content is between 6 and 10%. 20% and 30% weight by weight of plasticizer is added. One single or the blend of plasticizers are used in the soft gelatin capsules. How we ensure the quality? Let's discuss. We select some criteria on which basis we perform this test. For raw materials or for process material of a finished product. So what should be the limit? What should be the acceptance criteria? What are the evaluation parameters, especially the official parameters which we are going to discuss here? We can categorize the evaluation test for raw materials, for in-process materials, or for finished products. So there are the three major categories of evaluation parameters. We can categorize them, these tests. Now let's see evaluation for raw materials. The APIs are tested for general test for purity as per the monograph, and API testing involves the FTR assay limits test for any other, and if stated whatever is stated in the monograph, we saw as per the monograph and perform all the tests which are required for that particular API. In case of shell forming agents, evaluation parameters include bloom strength in case of gelatin, viscosity in solution form, antimicrobial test. So these are performed for the materials. Official tests for shell forming agent include the identification, microbial contamination, loss on drying, isoelectric point, and conductivity, etc. So please go through with the evaluation parameters for raw material from the pharmacopoeias. So all the tests should be done according to the procedures given in the pharmacopoeias as per the pharmacopoeia, and the results should be under the permissible limits for monographs as per the monographs. There are two most widely used shell forming agents, gelatin and hypromellose. So this is a generic term. It is the generic term of hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, HPMC. You know it very well. It is a semi-synthetic inert viscoelastic polymer. So it is also used as we have already discussed, as a vegetarian, you can say, or natural capsule shell forming agent. What are the evaluation parameters for gelatin? Let's see. Bloom strength. How does it blooms? Bloom gelometers are used for this test. They were named after the Oscar T. Bloom, the scientist who discovered this technique. This test is used in control process to measure the rigidity of a gelatin film, how rigid a gelatin film is. We perform this test for this particular evaluation. A high number of bloom strength indicates a stiffer product. Gelatin used in the food usually runs from 125 bloom to 250 bloom. So general limit is 125 to 250. For gelatin, next parameter is gelling strength. Rheometer is used for the analysis, and the range, acceptable range, 200 to 300 for hard gelatin and 125 to 200 for soft gelatin. Okay, so these are the major ranges. And for viscosity is evaluated by the various viscometers in the range of it should be in the range of 45 to 60 for hard gelatin capsule and 25 to 45 for soft gelatin capsules. Now for hypromellose or HPMC, the pH of 2% weight by weight solution should be in the range of 5.8 to 8 for both hard gelatin capsules and soft gelatin capsules. Viscosity should be in the range of 80 to 120 for both, and for loss on drying it should not more than 5% at 105 degrees Celsius for both types of capsules. For gelatin pH, it gives a direction about the chemical interaction of shell and excipient and should be in the range of 4.5 to 6.5 for both hard and soft gelatin capsules. Antimicrobial test should be negative for E. coli and Salmonella for both, and also for with respect to yeast and molds, it should be less than 1000 CFU per gram. Okay, these are some antimicrobial limits for gelatins. Now for material evaluation parameters for in-process materials. Moisture content, number 1. Weigh the substance about 1 to 2 gram. Reduce the particle size to about 2 mm. Put the test specimen in the glass stoppered bottle and then accurately weigh the bottle and the contents. Place the loaded bottle in the drying chamber. After removing the stopper, dry the test specimen at the temperature and for the time specified in the monograph. The gel ribbon thickness, it is measured using caliber gauge. It should be in the range of 0.022 inches to 0.045 inches when wet. Okay, please do remember these limits, and deviation from these limits should not be more than plus minus 10% of stated value, if any. Gel seal thickness, it should be in the same range as the ribbon thickness and also measured using the caliber gauge. For finished material, we have reached now that content of active ingredient should be, this range is based on the requirement that 20 capsule of such other number as may be indicated in the monograph are used in this assay. In this assay, where what we do, we take the 20 where 20 capsule cannot be obtained, a smaller number which must not be less than 5 are used to allow for sampling errors. The tolerances are widened. The requirements stated in the pharmacopoeia apply when the stated limits are between 90 and 110%. Okay, remember this limit. For limits other than 90 to 110%, proportionately smaller or larger allowances should be made. Let's see this table. For if we take with respect to the content of active ingredient, okay, weight of that weight of active ingredient in each capsule, if it is 0.12 gram or less, the subtract from the lower limit for samples of 15, 10 or 5 for 0.2, 0.7 and 1.5, and add to the upper limit of samples of 15, 10, 5. What we will add 0.3, 0.8 or 1.8. If it is active ingredient is more than 0.12 gram and less than 0.3 gram, then you will have to subtract 0.2, 0.5 and 1.2 for the samples of 15, 10, 5 respectively. While in case of if the add to the upper limit of samples if the limit is 0.3, 0.6 and 1.5. If it is 0.3 or more, then you will have to subtract 0.1, 0.2 or 0.8 from 15, 10 and 5 and add to, you will have to add 0.2, 0.4 and 1, okay, for getting the content of that active ingredient with the help. So by this table we can have an idea that what should be the weight. Now let's see the weight of the intact capsule. Open the capsule without losing any part of the shell. Remove the content as completely as possible. Now weigh the shell. The weight of the content is the difference between the weighings. So repeat the procedure with further 19 capsules and determine the average weight. Not more than for the uniformity of weight, not more than 2 of the individual weight deviate from the average weight by more than the percent deviation given in the monograph, and none deviates by more than twice that percent. Okay. Average weight of capsule, if it is less than 300 milligram, the percent deviation limit is 10%. While if it is 300 milligram or more, then percent deviation allowed is 7.5%. Okay, for the weight uniformity. For uniformity of dosage units, capsules comply with the test for uniformity of dosage units or were justified and authorized with the test for uniformity of content and or uniformity of mass shown as herbal drugs and herbal drug preparations present in the dosage form are not subjected to the provisions of this test. Okay, for herbal test, this is not the test. This test is not applicable. Now, disintegration test for hard capsules. It must comply. Rather, it should comply with the general disintegration test as given in the pharmacopoeia or for the individual monograph, unless otherwise directed in that individual monograph. Use water as the medium. In the capsules, if the capsules float on the surface of the medium, a disc may be added. If the capsules adhere to the disc, attach a removable piece of stainless steel woven gauze with mesh aperture of 2 millimeter to the upper plate of the basket rack assembly and carry out the test omitting the disc. Operate this apparatus for 30 minutes. That disintegration apparatus you have to operate for 30 minutes unless otherwise directed, and the limits must comply with the individual monograph. For soft capsules, it should comply with the general disintegration test unless otherwise directed in the individual monograph. Again, use water as the medium, add a disc to each tube. Operate the apparatus for 60 minutes unless otherwise directed. Dissolution testing. We have come to a very important parameter, official dissolution testing. It should comply with the general dissolution testing using the basket type apparatus. Remember, basket type apparatus, okay, and in USP it is type 1 and in IP it is type 2 apparatus. Remember this thing, and place the stated volume of dissolution medium plus minus 1% in the vessel of the specified apparatus given in the individual monograph, and assemble the apparatus, equilibrate the dissolution medium to 37 plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius and remove the thermometer. Place one dose unit in the apparatus, taking care to exclude air bubbles from the surface of the dosage unit. Okay, immediately operate the apparatus at the specified rate given in the individual monograph. Okay, within the time interval specified or at each of the times stated, withdraw specified from specified amount from a zone midway between the surface of the dissolution medium and the top of the rotating basket or blade, not less than 1 centimeter from the vessel wall. Okay, remember this thing, you have to take care when you are withdrawing the sample. Where multiple sampling times are specified, replace the aliquot withdrawn from analysis with equal volume of pre-warmed fresh dissolution media at 37 degrees Celsius, where it can be shown that replacement of the medium is not necessary. Correct for the volume change in the calculation. Okay. Unless otherwise specified in the individual monograph, the requirements are met if the quantities of active ingredients dissolved from the dosage unit tested conform the pharmacopoeia standard, as we have discussed in the tablet options in stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. If the first 6 capsules, each unit should not be less than the Q plus 5%. Okay, Q is the labeled amount here, and for 6, if it fails, then 6 more are taken, so total 12. So average of 12 units should S1 plus S2 should be equal to or greater than the Q, and no unit is less than Q minus 5%, then it passes. Otherwise you will take 12 more one, and average of 24 units S1 plus S2 plus S3 is equal to or greater than Q, and not more than 2 units are less than Q minus 15%, and no unit is less than Q minus 25%. Okay. Now, disintegration testing. The disintegration test is not applicable to modified release capsules. Remember this thing. For it is not meant for modified release capsule. For those hard capsule and soft capsule for which the general dissolution test is included in the individual monograph, the test for disintegration is not required. Okay. For physicochemical testing, it is done for color, opacity, shape. Okay. By visual observation, you can do these things. Changing color or opacity or shape leads to the destruction of the formulation. You will have to discard if there is some change. Sensor based inspection systems are also available in the automatic machines and automatic plants. These systems are attached with the conveyor belts and check the individual formulation. Okay. As far as the packaging is concerned, similar to the tablets, capsules are packaged either in the blister packaging or the alu packing. Okay, we have also seen in the packaging our individual packaging technology lectures. Please go through the packaging technology lectures. They are very useful for your preparations with respect to the subject pharmaceutical production technologies. Blister packaging is preferred for fast gelatin for soft gelatin capsules. So blister packaging must be followed for soft gelatin capsule. However, the hard gelatin capsules can be done by any of the packaging, any other type of packaging. Now, storage and labeling are the two other important remaining things. Storage, obviously, they must be stored either the hard gelatin capsule or the soft gelatin capsule. They must be stored in cool and dark place. Okay. The labeling should necessarily uh, be carefully done, and label should necessarily state about the concentration of preservatives if there any, if it is there. Okay. Some of the further readings which we recommend for you for with respect to the technologies, production technologies, especially with respect to the capsules. Now let me summarize you whatever we have learned. Capsules are the dosage forms. The official definition, they are single unit dosage forms. Their advantages, their disadvantages over the tablet and other formulation we discussed. Then the production of capsule shells, including their sorting, printing, storage of prepared empty capsule cells from the hard gelatin capsules we discussed in the very first lecture also. And then we introduce what are the hard gelatin capsules. Hard gelatin capsules as dosage form and their importance we discussed. Various methods of filling and hard gelatin capsules, including the handheld method. We discussed how we can fill those hard gelatin capsules. Okay, so please do remember the processes. Many times only the names of the steps are asked. The advancement of the capsule filling technology, you must note it down, and you may prepare your notes with respect to the advancement in different fields. There are different type of advancement, like in advancement with respect to the sorting, advancement with respect to the printing, advancement with respect to the QC, in process quality control, and various aspects which we have discussed in our entire series of lectures. uh, Formulation consideration of hard gelatin capsules, we discussed that what are the things which are required to be for formulating the hard gelatin capsules. And then we discuss the soft gelatin capsules as dosage forms and their importance. Okay, various methods of filling of soft gelatin capsule we have discussed. Okay, can you name, just recall the names of the soft gelatin capsule filling methods. The advancement of capsule filling technology we also discussed, and formulation concentrations of soft gelatin capsules with respect to the plasticizer and all things that are required, especially the hypromelos, HPMC. They can be used also for the soft gelatin capsules. Please do remember, hypromelos, vegetarian capsule cell, you can say they are natural source. They are from natural source, you can say, and they are the semi-synthetic polymers, and they are taken as an alternative to the gelatin for manufacturing of the capsules. Then, in this particular lecture, we also discussed the evaluation parameters of capsule dosage forms. So, what are the evaluation parameters? Please go through the pharmacopoeia, Indian pharmacopoeia and United States pharmacopoeia for dissolution, disintegration, and other evaluation parameters, not only for the finished products but also for the raw materials, for the in-process materials also. So please do remember verbatim the what are the accepted criteria as per the pharmacopoeia for the various evaluation parameters, whatever we have discussed, and whatever is remaining, please go ahead, refer the pharmacopoeia first, then refer the further readings which we have recommended for you for capsule production technologies. Hope you have enjoyed our lecture. Please feel free to ask any question in and do study the further readings, especially the Banker Roots Pharmaceutics, Modern Pharmaceutics is there, and our books are the Essentials of Pharmaceutical Technology. Please do remember the verbatim definition, accepted criteria, names, steps, filling methods, steps, their names. Many times, just the enumeration works. You need to enumerate the various steps. So please follow the lecture, and thank you for being with us. Happy learning.